Hello everyone, the Nerdy Steve here with Luigi. Today's video is going to be about PVDDR's Esper Midrange Standard deck that is currently being used in the new Capenna Championship. I'm going to talk about some of the card choices, the game play and game plan, and the sideboard, and then we'll play a couple of matches. So let's go. What makes Esper Midrange really appealing is that it can apply some pressure early on with powerful creatures like Luminarch Aspirant and Tenacious Underdog, right? So on turn 2, you have some pretty decent threats that, specifically Luminarch Aspirant, that if unanswered, will deal a lot of damage to your opponent, right? And then on turn 3, you have Raffine, Scheming Seer, Wedding Announcement, or Kaito to follow up one of your turn 2 creatures. And what that will do is you get to build up your incremental advantage over your time. Every turn with Wedding Announcement, with a Raffine Connive trigger, with Luminarch Aspirant going off, you are getting more cards, more creatures, or with the Aspirant and the Wedding Announcement, a bigger buff, right? And over time, through the card filtering of Raffine, or any of the drawing from your planeswalkers like Lolth or Sorin, or blitzing back the Tenacious Underdog, you will be able to outvalue your opponent and then eventually and hopefully win the game. In addition to the planeswalkers, right, you have Meathook Massacre and Whirling Verse and Infernal Grasp as your removal, which the Wandering Emperor is also removal as well, right? And then Spell Pierce is a one-of spell that is used to interact with a lot of different very powerful spells that your opponent could be using, like other opposing planeswalkers, Meathook Massacre, Fable of the Mirror Breaker, and it just is really, really cheap and efficient for what you want to be doing. So the ideal game plan is to play one of your creatures on turn 2, a Raffine on turn 3, and then you're going to be able to respond with what your opponent is doing in a hopeful and effective manner by filtering your card draws and be able to pinpoint your removal at different things and be able to just be very, very efficient and effective. All right, Luigi. Oh, okay. And over time with Sorin, it's interesting to note that Kaito, the Wandering Emperor, Sorin, and Lolth each make creatures when you activate their abilities, and Lolth, Sorin, and Kaito will draw you cards over the course of the game. So the longer they stay out, the more card advantage you get as well. So that's kind of the basic premise. You want to be able to apply some early pressure so that your card selection can overwhelm what your opponent is doing in a more effective and efficient manner. And then by the later turns, around like turn 7 or 8, if it goes that long and you haven't killed your opponent, your powerful planeswalkers will be able to just kill them. The sideboard is Ray of Enfeeblement is efficient removal against opposing white decks. One of the ways that we lose as Esper Midrange is if your opponent comes out in a much quicker way, or too quickly for your card advantage and card selection to mean anything. So if you could stop their maybe turn 2 Luminarch Aspirant or Thalia, you are putting them a couple turns behind, and so you're able to build up your planeswalkers and creatures. Bankbuster is in matchups, so probably for stuff like the Mirror or other control games where you're going to need more card advantage, right? Some games you just maybe you don't need your aggressive creatures and you just need more cards, right? All right, Luigi. Meathook Massacre for aggro matchups where you need to wipe the board over and over again. What is really, really good with Meathook Massacre is when you have Raffine, you can always connive it away if you don't need it right now. And that's one of the good things and one of the benefits and powers that Raffine has brought to Esper Midrange is you're never really going to have useless cards in your hand because they can always be cycled later. Disdainful Stroke is for, again, control matchups like Bank. The Bank Buster is used for. So when you want to really interact with your opponent's planeswalkers, you want Disdainful Stroke. Same thing with Negate. And Archon of Emeria is probably, is there for the runes matchup with Archon of Emeria. Your opponent cannot really go off with runes. And again, what this deck does is it really needs the time for the card selection and card advantage to take effect. So if you can stop the runes player for maybe a turn or two, you're just going to be so far ahead where what they do will not matter, right? So that's the sideboard and the deck, and let's go. This is not a good hand. I'm going to keep because I don't want to mulligan. We get to Hive on turn 1, on turn 2, Vanishing Verse, which, isn't the worst. And then turn 3, we can start to cycle cards. So we won't necessarily get very, very flooded if we would get flooded. Want to keep Vanishing Verse. Our opponent played Raffine's Tower, which means they're probably on a very similar deck. I don't know if we should cycle there or create the token. Creating token here allows us for card advantage over the next turn instead of the card selection that specific turn. Our opponent thought the same idea. I didn't put my phone on vibrate. I apologize. So let's attack. We want to draw. And now I think we want to keep the Wandering Emperor up. And we say go. We'll let that deal the 1 damage. We're gonna Wandering Emperor at the end of our opponent's turn. But before we do anything, we want to see what happens. Wedding announcement? Okay. So before our opponent's end step, I want to get rid of the wedding announcement so we don't have to deal with it. Right? I think that makes sense. And now we can actually Wandering Emperor plus the token and kill our opponent's Kaito.
I have got new moves to teach you.
And now we draw a card. This leaves us vulnerable for our opponent to do the same thing with Wandering Emperor to kill Kaito, but I think we're kind of fine with that. Our opponent right now, though, is in a very, very
I've been watching your moves.
Rough spot.
Impressive.
Because we have 2 planeswalkers out that they can't really kill yet. So they applied a lot of creatures to the board. So I'm thinking we're gonna Wandering Emperor this. Attack. We'll see what we draw. But we're probably gonna Meathook Massacre for 2 post-combat. And we still have Infernal Grasp and Vanishing Verse up. Right? So both of our planeswalkers are protected right now. Because we can kill Blitz Tenacious Underdog. And if our opponent does anything else, we can kill it. I don't know what exactly we're necessarily worried about. So with a Kaito, that means we can probably Vanishing Verse a wedding announcement before their end step.
It's like your defenses aren't even there.
Oh, I went through. I should have put a stop there. So my bad. That changes things a little bit, but I don't think it's too terrible. I mean, that's unfortunate, but we'll be fine.
Now this is a juicy secret.
We must protect the people.
I feel like maybe I should have made a 2/2 earlier.
Now this is getting fun. There's no
What I will
secret
do
I
is
can't
kill the wedding
uncover.
announcement, because I have priority in their second main phase. Let me make sure I do. So they don't get a 1/1. Okay. That's so fine.
Guards.
We're gonna kill the
to me.
Kaito.
My
We're
head
gonna
wasn't
draw.
yours. Now, what do we have here?
Play a land, and then Seiko. What we're going to be able to do here is Wandering Emperor, the Underdog. And exile it. So this means we do not have to worry
I've
about
learned
the
much
Underdog
during my travels.
this game.
Show you.
Our opponent doesn't draw a card from the Blitz happening because it is exiled, not... Is it targeting? I don't care if that dies, because we have another one.
See you later.
So yeah, we're pretty okay.
I hope you're
Yeah.
ready to lose.
I think in this matchup, one of the really important parts, or one of the important factors in this game is keeping your Planeswalker on the battlefield for long. And that's like kind of obvious, but it's kind of like our Kaito came out on the third turn, and we were able to protect it and draw and draw and draw the rest of the game, right? And that is something you really want to be cognizant of. I don't know what we want to sideboard. This seems very, very difficult. I want the negates and the counter, wedding announcement, and all the planeswalkers. And same thing with Disdainful Stroke as well. But I don't know what... I feel like Infernal Grasp might not be particularly wonderful because Wandering Emperor can get rid of it. We also want... Maybe we do want Ray of Enfeeblement because it can take care of Raffine. Ray of Enfeeblement is a 1 mana way to get rid of Raffine. You also have to pay the ward, so it's 2 mana. but it's the most cost-effective way to deal with Raffine, and also why it's in the sideboard. We did not see Raffine. We can assume our opponent had it, though. This is interesting. I'm not too confident of what to do. Maybe Lolth is too much mana. We can go down on a Lolth. And maybe we can add another counter spell. We'll see how it works, right? We don't have black mana here. But we do have a Luminarch Aspirant. Okay. Opponent brought in Duress, which is good to know. I'm not going to do anything with the information. It's just good to know. A Raffine from our opponent? Yeah. Imagine if the negate was Spell Pierce, we'd feel so much safer. So now, what are we doing? We're waiting for our opponent. Wedding announcement wouldn't be great. Our opponent didn't do anything. I think this means a Wandering Emperor. Oh. Okay. They know we have the negate, though. Opponent discarded a land. The wedding announcement. Alright, let's do this. Oh, we can't even Meathook for one. Alright. Our opponent only has 2 cards in hand. They are at 5. Duress. So they're gonna take the Meathook here. We're gonna keep the Wandering Emperor. Our opponent could attack.
My people.
Oh, maybe that's wrong. Because now they get to decide, but we can still flash it in and make a 2/2. Yeah.
Keep watch for intruders. I have got new moves to teach you.
If our opponent has their own Wandering Emperor, that'd be very bad. They do not. Okay.
Neither vampire nor you will serve me well.
So again, our deck kind of worked exactly how it needed to, right? we applied our early pressure with our Luminarch Aspirant, and then because of that, we're able to fully take advantage of our Planeswalkers, being able to use those abilities over time. And when you have the really big threats on the battlefield, right, it makes your counter magic and one of our few ways to interact with what our opponent is doing much more effective, because we don't have to do anything. Our opponent is the one who has to act. Alright, so let's play another game. Alright, this is beautiful, right? We Hive Tyrant on turn 1, Pathway on turn 2, and turn 3 Marsh, which allows us to Underdog on turn 2 and Raffine on turn 3. It literally can't be better in this deck. So hopefully it will turn out well. Hopefully. I guess we could have done the Marsh on turn 1. Interesting. I think I want an Aspirant there over the Underdog, mainly for 2 reasons. The Aspirant gets more value over time, and we can discard the Underdog to the Connive trigger that we're getting next turn, and that is value, right? Because this in the graveyard doesn't... It's good in the graveyard, right? We can just discard it, and voila. I have a feeling this will be a very, very common matchup. So let's hope it works out for us. Because I'm not entirely sure how we should be playing it out. Kaito?
Powerful won't help. I'll do it myself. There's no secret I can't uncover.
There's a lot of different lines we can take. Do we want to Luminarch Aspirant pre-combat to deal extra damage? Are we gonna Vanishing Verse the Underdog? Probably. One, two. I guess we can discard. One land and a grasp. So our opponent goes to 8. Trying to think what we want to do here. Do they have counter magic? Are we worried? I guess we can let them... See if they do anything pre-combat. Because if our opponent attacks, right? there's more things we can do. But now I don't know. I think I want to get rid of the underdog so they loot less, but I don't even know if that's right. Lolth? Okay.
Are you enraptured by my beauty? And I, the generous one.
So part of me was thinking maybe I wanted to put a counter on that too, and we're gonna get punished for not.
I will cull the weak.
What this at least does our opponent has to block, otherwise they lose. You know, we could have another mistake. We could have just kept the Meathook and maybe gotten rid of the Wandering Emperor, because the spider tokens will get in our way here.
My will
I think that was a mistake. I was thinking about maybe letting the game go a couple of turns and getting value out of here. Yeah. When clearly the 1/1 was more important. Okay.
You caught me. It's like your defenses aren't even there.
Hmm. One, two. Let's discard. Oh, we have to discard a lot. Opponent does have to block. Any non-block creature is lethal. Alright. I'll take that one. Okay. So what did we do last time? I think we can go down on the Infernal Grasp a little bit. Go down Lolth, because Lolth is not as powerful in Meathook matchups. I don't know if we want more or less. And I don't know if we want the Ray of Enfeeblement for the opposing Raffine as well. Maybe there's like a play draw thing going on, but I do think we want the negate. Maybe Wandering Emperor is too expensive. I don't think I like Lolth. Let's go with that. 1, 2, and then we'll add 1 Ray. We'll see. Okay. We could have done this on blue to keep up the spell pierce. Maybe that's wrong. I don't know. Oh, we do know they have duress. But if our opponent goes Raffine, we're just so screwed. We really desperately need them to wedding announcement here. Thank you. Because if they didn't, we wouldn't be able to use our mana. And that would have been really, really bad. We go to 13. We do not block under any circumstance. So I think what I want to do here...
I hope you're ready to lose. You are not much of a roadblock.
I won't attack. And the reason is, if we attack, we leave it vulnerable to the Wandering Emperor. And if we could untap with counter magic, that'd be really, really great. But our Wandering Emperor died,
Back
so...
to wandering.
Doing this because I kind of really want to draw that card. And we get to use all of our mana there. Like, now we get to Raffine and keep up something. The bad part is our opponent now has wedding announcement active. And so we need to draw a Meathook, otherwise we're just gonna continuously stay really, really far behind. Alright. Yep. Seven. Draw a card from Kaito. I think they could make a 2/2.
Thanks. I'll be taking that now. That all you got?
This is not looking good for us. By the way. Yep. Okay. I think we're fine here. I don't like it at all, because we have no turn 2 play, which, as I said earlier, is very, very important. But wedding announcement's pretty powerful. Got him. And I don't like mulliganing a lot. So. And with Raffine, mulliganing is worse and you can get out of it quicker, so. I'm justifying my bad plays, but, you know, if you get rewarded, were they ever really bad? Mm-hmm. So here, again, we're gonna kill it. Autopay. Okay. Yeah, Wedding Announcement is so strong in this matchup. Because you're both kind of doing... I mean, it's a mirror match, so you're both kind of doing the same plan. But if your creatures are ever just more powerful than your opponents, all of their cards just look so much worse. So we will do this again. Attack. Alright. Because now we also get to Meathook and do stuff if we really, really want to. Alright, our opponent probably has the Wandering Emperor. Okay.
Finally, I'm home. We must protect the people.
This is interesting.
Feel the energy of battle.
Now, that wins in combat. That was a bold choice from our opponent to not kill directly. Because now this Wandering Emperor... will be able to do stuff, but it's tricky. Creating a 2/2.
Let your blade do the talking.
That was a good duress. Our opponent's thinking if they want a Tenacious Underdog to attack the Wandering Emperor here. I don't know what the correct answer is. We also don't know the other cards in hand. They're doing their own Wedding Announcement? Okay. Let's... let's do that. We'll create our own. Do that.
We must protect the people.
We do need to cast our own Meathook sooner rather than later. Otherwise, we're just gonna die from triggers. Alright, Raffine.
Remember your training.
Huh. They have their own Void Rend. No. Create a 2/2. We'll play a land.
Blade do the talking.
And do you want? Yeah, we'll put it out there. Yeah, I think that's good. That's good. We've been attacking this Wandering Emperor for forever, and nothing has happened, by the way. Oh, not another wedding announcement. That is so bad for us.
May your
Fudge.
strike fast and strike hard.
Oh no. Okay.
I'm never done for good.
That is not... I think we're dead on board here. Okay, yep. 100% dead on board. GG. That was unfortunate. I guess we're gonna have to play again. Let's hope that this is not a mirror match. I'm gonna keep this hand. Alright, much better. We get the turn 2 Underdog and the turn 3 Raffine, and we can get rid of these really, really expensive cards that we hate, right? Looks like another mirror match, so... Are they gonna Raffine on turn 3? They are. At least ours is prettier, right? And that's really all that matters. We have no idea what we're going to do during our turn, right? Because we're going to be seeing a lot of more cards. There's potential that we're going to block here. And then we blitz out an Underdog. So we draw 2, discard 2. We deal more damage. And we get to use all of our mana. But we'll see. Kaito.
No secret is safe from me. Now this is a juicy secret.
I think that's what I want to do. And then... Alright. This is still very, very interesting. Our opponent, we have a much more powerful creature, or ours is larger, but our opponent does have a resolved planeswalker, which is not good. For me or morale.
There's no secret I can't uncover.
That's what, okay. And they also have the pretty Wandering Emperor, and I did not change my Wandering Emperor art.
Let me show you. My judgment is final.
So now I have to figure out what I want to do. I don't know if we Lolth and then our opponent Meathook Massacre, we're in a very, very bad spot. I think we just want to get rid of the Raffine while it is there, and then hope for the best. Our opponent can blitz out their own underdog and attack our Wandering Emperor, which is not ideal.
Bet you can't catch us.
Show them how we greet our enemies.
Double wedding announcement, okay.
Envy the strong, for they can a gift in exchange for loyalty.
Still have much to learn. Keep watch for intruders.
That was probably very silly. Maybe we should have plussed. Because right now we're in a really, really terrible spot. Our opponent's getting so many creatures over the next couple turns, and they're drawing cards. They're killing our planeswalker. We cannot do anything to really stop them. We get to Vanishing Verse, the wedding announcement here. But, like, this is not good. Very, very not good.
Remember your training.
At least there is blood on your hands.
Now, what do we have here?
We did not need another wedding announcement, by the way. GG. Huh. Is Meathook Massacre what we really want in this matchup? I don't know. Infernal Grasp doesn't seem great. I think we like Negate. I don't know what we want. Maybe we do want the Ray of Enfeeblement for the Raffine. But this seems very, very interesting. If anyone knows what I'm supposed to do, you should totally let me know, because I am at a loss. This is not good either. But again, mulliganing feels very, very bad in this matchup. Like, really bad. Because everything is a lot of 2-for-1s, right? And there's a lot of card filtering. But I'm probably not supposed to keep this hand. But, of course, we drew out of it. If our opponent has a negate here, that's bad. Okay. And that's also why I don't like mulliganing, right? Because if we mulligan to keep a wedding announcement hand and our opponent negates anyway, it feels even worse. But now we're down a card. Sorin, okay.
I take no joy in this, but it's necessary. You fight for me now.
This is gonna work out very, very well for us. We get to create a samurai.
Guards, to me.
Oh, no, it's not. Fuck. I did my math wrong. No. I should have plussed it. I thought I'd be able to pump it up, Meathook, and kill the Sorin. But, nope. I guess we could do it for 1.
Strike fast and strike hard.
That still puts the pressure on Sorin or the vampire. Okay, like, that's not terrible. It's not great. Go blank. Uh-oh.
Blood for knowledge. A fair trade.
This feels so bad. I don't think we can counter it. Because we really need to save our counter spell for, like, literally anything, right? Because if we counter that, it just lets our samurai live and they lose that, but then they make a Sorin counter and then can cast anything. So I think we do that again. And we're in a very, very bad spot, though. An unenviable spot. Three, 4 lifelink.
You deal with this annoyance.
Guards, to me.
Not the Wandering Emperor.
My secret.
I have no idea what we can do here. All right. We get to attack Sorin. Okay.
Not gone my way.
So that was really, really good. We're still not in a good spot, but we can function. All we now need is one of our card advantage things, and we're golden. I don't know what we want to Vanishing Verse here. I kind of want to save it. Glad I did.
Of all Innistrad, my will must be. You will serve me well.
They have a counterspell? Fuck. I don't think we can just go and kill the Sorin, but I mean, in retrospect, that was the right move. Alright, well.
Tragedy befalls us all.
The problem here also is our Ray of Enfeeblement does not do anything against Raffine, because it's a 1/5. Alright. Nine. This is not good, everyone. Very not good. Okay. Well, that's not gonna win it for us. Right? In case you were wondering what was or wasn't gonna win it for us. We can't even kill the frickin' GG. Oh well. That was very, very unfortunate. Well, down to 222, but, you know, I guess you can't win them all. Those games could have gone better, but that happens sometimes. It's Magic for you, right? So I want to thank you all for watching. If you haven't already, you should totally like, comment, or subscribe. It would really help me out. You could also watch me stream live at twitch.tv/thenerdysteve. And yeah, hope you have a wonderful morning, evening, or afternoon. And thanks for watching. Bye.